Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Blue View podcast. And we are here after the Leicester 2-0 loss. We're very, very angry, disappointed, sad probably as well. I think we're feeling a lot of emotions right now. Will be interesting to see over sort of the next few hours whether or not that was Lampard's last game. I think everybody thinks it is, but you never know. He may be given another one. I'm not too sure. But yeah, we've got a guest on as per usual today. So we're delighted to welcome on the channel Thegranddam, also known as Dami. You guys will probably know him off Twitter, and he does YouTube as well. So Dami, glad to have you on. How are you doing, man? Obviously not good, but yeah.
You might know how I do with energy and shit, but right now I can't hack it. I'm sorry, I can't. Right now I am boiling. I am so angry. I can't begin to explain the sort of emotions that are going through my head. Apart from being cancelled and my club being like utter trash, I just want to go to bed. I must be very honest with you, because right now this whole Lampard thing is a wind up. It's a wind up, honest to God. But yeah, other than that, I'm alive. I can thank God for that.
Yeah, and I think, guys, there's not going to be really any structure to this episode. I'm just going to ask, Dubois and Dami and his thoughts and stuff on the game and what should happen in the future, because, we want to do it raw for you guys. We want to, give you our honest opinions on things. So, let's do it. So, Dubois, talk to me about that game, because, for me, I've been tweeting out a couple of things basically saying that it looks like the players just down tools, to be honest. Simple things like pressing and stuff, which is usually the minimum we do under Lampard. If we don't play well, at least we actually press. We actually do try hard, even if we lack quality, even if we lack ideas. We at least press. We at least try. I didn't see that today, did you? I just thought, I thought when we went 1-0 down, that was just it. I thought the players believed this was the end. And this is something we've seen over the years with Chelsea, with numerous managers. Players down in tools, players just, they know that Lampard will be sacked. They know that any manager will be sacked if things get worse and things get really bad. So they have the control. They have the player power. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think one thing, if you know, especially when we were on our last podcast against Fulham, one thing we said is we can't get carried away with this result, because if, Chelsea players turn up against Leicester and put in a performance that is similar to Fulham, then we're in big trouble. And that's exactly what's happened. I think the players just look so disinterested. And like you said, they would have known Frank Lampard's job was on the line. I mean, who doesn't? And some of the players there, it almost felt like they were playing for Leicester. I mean, I don't want to pick, but only one player I'll mention is Ben Chilwell. I just didn't understand what he was playing at, Ben Chilwell. And I shouldn't be picking on specific players, but he was one I just didn't understand. It was performances like them where, surely, at least, like you said, the pressing was not there. Nothing was there. It was one of the worst performances I've seen this season, and it's alarming considering how much of an important game it was that this performance has come through at such a time. So I literally have no words. I'm lost because I didn't expect this to happen so soon in terms of the players turning on. Well, it seems like the players have turned on Frank and he's lost a dressing room, and it's very, very worrying.
Yeah, completely agree. That's exactly what I thought. Just seems to be a reoccurrence from previous years. And guys, we will have updates throughout this episode if, things do happen. I'm constantly refreshing Twitter and stuff. And Dami, the latest report we are getting from Nizar Kinsella, who works for Goal, is that Tuchel is angling for the job, and more will come, obviously, if Lampard goes. Obviously, Dami, I'm not sure if you're decided on who you would want as the next manager, considering it does look so likely. We might as well start talking about next managers, because if he survives after today and where we are in the league table, I'm just lost for words. I'm literally lost for words. I do not see how he survives tonight or tomorrow. Dami, who would be, your ideal candidate to come in?
All this talk about managers and stuff. The thing is, I can't even right now, like you said, this is straight after the game. I'm going to give you my actual calculated proper thing. I don't know. But one thing I will say is this football club, whatever happens next, okay, because we don't know what's happening. We don't know. Price is checking the tail now. We just need to get in. If Lampard has to leave halfway through the season, we get an interim. You know what I mean? We got an interim manager and we ride it out. I'm not going to put in a Tuchel or an Allegri. Those two, Tuchel I'm more of a fan of, but Allegri not really. I'm not going to chuck in a brand new manager, yeah, into the court like this and then expect them to do stuff next season. I don't think Roman does that. So what I'm thinking is probably going to happen is we're going to get in like an interim, possibly, if things go south. Because, I mean, once again, we are all assuming that Lampard, this might be it. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm just looking at things and like, I don't really have an answer to that question. Do you know what I mean? I'm big fans of Hassan, who at Southampton, but he hasn't won anything. You know what I mean? He hasn't really won anything. Nagelsmann, I'm a big fan of, but I mean, how much has he really won? So it's very difficult for me to actually sit down here and say what I could actually get. Because to be honest with you, the manager I really wanted, Pochettino, is out of business. So what can we really do from here? Except we kidnap Ancelotti and put him at the back seat. I don't know where else to go from. You know what I mean? But other than that, because I can't really give you an answer right now, I'm fuming. Honest to God, I'm fuming.
Exactly, and I think that's like most of our answers because, you know, whatever manager we get in now, unless it's like an interim, like they're just, if we get in a top manager like Allegri or Tuchel, like, it's going to be so hard because they're going to be expected to deliver from the off. They're going to have no time to work with the players at all, no time to figure out systems. They're just chucked into the deep end. Like, it's going to be hard. But what do you do? You know, if you're Roman Abramovich, what do you do? Do you just keep Lampard and just keep going on this downward circle, or do you chuck a new manager in there? Like, I just don't understand what would be the right thing to do right now. Obviously, based on performances, the right thing to do is to get Lampard to go and stuff. But Dubois, whoever comes in, surely is just going to struggle as well because, you know, oftentimes when new managers come in, you may have a little manager bounce and things, but I think overall it's going to be very, very hard because we're in a tight fixture schedule right now. Like, yes, it could be the ideal opportunity right now to sack Lampard because we've got Luton on the weekend, and that's sort of a game that, you know, I could probably win if I was in charge. Let's be honest. So, like, what do you think about what's going to happen? Do you agree with me that it's going to be very, very hard no matter who comes in? Because, you know, it's just the fixture schedule. There's no time to work. You know, it's just most managers would want a pre-season. You know.
Yeah, I totally agree with you and also Dami of what you said there because it can also do more harm than good getting a new manager at this point because, like you said, they'll need time. It's not as if, you know, obviously we normally get a honeymoon period when a new manager comes in. There's always like an uplift in form, but it's not going to be easy, especially if we're targeting the top managers. Like Tuchel, if he comes in, it's not as if he will suddenly, you know, transform the squad overnight. He's going to require time. And like you said as well, the fixtures are daunting. I mean, we're talking about a new manager coming in, and in a few weeks, he's got a run of Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Manchester United, back to back. I mean, it's a massive task. So I think it's a fine line here of whether Chelsea normally don't sack managers mid-season, but with results spiraling like they are now, you know, I think the last time was Jose Mourinho in that 15-16 season or whatever. It was where, you know, results were spiraling. And if we're following that same trend, it could be one where we need an interim to guide us to the end of the season. But then again, the interim, there's no guarantee that will succeed in like settling the ship and saving us from this downward spiral. So I genuinely am as lost as probably most Chelsea fans are now because yes, new manager, it could work in our favour, but it's not going to be easy if you talk about our fixtures coming up. I mean, Atletico Madrid, Liverpool, Manchester United, back to back. I can't even imagine, you know, how hard those games will be, let alone to perform it and forget about winning.
Yeah, completely agree. Simon Johnson's on the Athletic doing like a live chat thing on the website, and he's said he's heard a few names, obviously the ones that we know. He's actually mentioned Andrei Shevchenko for an interim, basically saying that he'd be surprised if he gets a job, but he does have a good relationship with Abramovich. Dami for an interim, you know, an interim, to be honest, usually we don't know much about the manager. Like, they're very sort of, they're not top managers, are they, interims usually? You know, I think a lot of people I've seen have you know, recommended like Rafa Benitez, but I just don't think that would work either. I mean, obviously you said it's hard to give us names. Is there anyone that you'd like for an interim until the end of the season? Because I think if we're going down the interim route, then obviously we're going to probably go for Nagelsmann in the summer. But, you know, who would you take? Like, do you have any plan?
Is like, who, like, okay, we want Nagelsmann, yeah? He comes, so he can't, he's not coming in now. He's going to look at the thing, yeah? Can I curse on this as well?
Yeah.
He's going to come into this. He's going to look at Chelsea right now. They're ringing him up, boss, pull through. If you see a hot piling steam of shit, yeah, on the ground, you're not going to pick it up with your bare hands. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to come into the court and do that. What? So my thing is, right now, it depends on the route that Chelsea wants to take. When it comes to interim managers, you've got Grant cutting the whole thing out before. Thing is, who can we bring in? Because Tuchel, if you're getting Tuchel now, that means you're committing long term as well. If you get Allegri in now, which I definitely, honestly, that guy is something else. I do not want Allegri anywhere near my club, honest to God. I sincerely mean that from the bottom of my heart. But if you get Allegri in now, that's not going to work for us either. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're going, any manager you get in now has to either be interim, yeah, interim, and you just get your actual target later on. Because I'm seeing Upamenko links, I'm seeing Haaland links. That's making Nagelsmann sense. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all it makes sense to for me personally. But when it comes to actually interims, who can we bring in? Because like I keep telling people, we can bring in whoever we like. But at the end of the day, these players don't have that mentality to... I mean, do they have the mentality to bounce? When we had interims in the past, you had your John Terrys, your Frank Lampards, your Didier Drogbas, your Peter Cechs, your Ashley Coles, your Michels, your all those players, those people that had strong mentalities and could actually take it on the chin and swap it on the court. Who could we possibly bring in to get all these men patterned up right now that would actually meet the requirements that we want? So I'm conflicted. I'm actually conflicted. I don't know what else to say because, honest to God.
And that's what I'm saying as well. Like, I'm fuming about this whole situation because, like, whoever comes in is just going to have such a problem. Yeah, we may win a couple of games on the bounce. We may win 3 or 4 games. Everyone will be happy again. But the deep-rooted problems still lie at this club. Like, there is still players in this club that are cancer. Like, let's be honest. There is still players in this club that will ruin the next manager, you know, if things don't go well. And I think the fan base is going to have a big problem as well with the next manager. This is something I've said a lot of the time that, you know, people are just going to say, well, oh, why didn't we just back Frank Lampard when a new manager comes in and loses 3 or 4 games in a row? Like, I think it's just going to be the start of an absolute civil war, especially on social media. Like, I don't see how, especially on social media, things are going to improve. I hope things improve on the pitch, but in terms of like what we're, you know, into and coming from, which is like Twitter and YouTube and stuff, I think it's just going to get even worse. Anyway, Dubois, a quote that I've got here from Frank Lampard. He has just said in his interview, which for me is just, yeah, it pretty much confirms it. What are your thoughts on this then? So Frank Lampard is saying that it intensified for me a while ago. Expectations of this club are high. It's not my decision. There are some things that are now beyond my control. Is that a goodbye?
Yeah, that's not very promising if you're looking at it from the outside, especially. It sounds like someone who's defeated. It sounds like someone who's always been aware that his job was under pressure. And now, in some ways, it's almost as if he's saying that no matter what he does, it's nothing, like, it's not in his control. I don't know if that's a dig at the players in some sense, because it seems as though he's saying whatever tactically he does, nothing's going to change. I don't know. It's hard to read into. But on first glance, that's not very, very promising at all. It looks like Frank himself is waiting for the inevitable, I guess, especially if he's alluding to the fact that this club is, you know, used to winning and with expectations that high. It's quite a surprising quote as well, especially someone who like Frank has been calm and collected in previous post-match interviews. So yeah, it's not very promising at all, that.
Okay, so Dami, obviously you heard Dubois there. So what do you think on that quote? Because for me, like, when I'm interpreting it as, you know, like, it's over, like, it's just, he's done basically, because
Arrivederci.
What's that?
Arrivederci.
Yeah.
Arrivederci.
Once a manager says things are now out of my control, that's almost like he's been told, like, he has to not avoid defeat, right? This game, surely.
Mourinho, we saw this with Mourinho, because we saw this with Jose. Thing is, right now, the 3 of us here, let me just say something, and big up to Dubois and Pies here, because you man don't understand how difficult it is to be on social media with a decent following, yeah? And you have to come out here and give your opinion, because all of us here are steaming, because we are steaming, we are bleeding from. I don't even know, I can't even begin to talk about how we're being dragged in many different ways at the moment. But Frank Lampard, like I keep telling people, a lot of idiots disrespected Lampard and felt, oh, we could get relegated. Do you know who this man is? The standards. He has higher standards than all of us of himself. Do you understand? For someone of such diligence, okay, and such character to come out with a comment like that, God, fam. Those players, yeah, they've down tools, because this is 2016 again. It always has to be at the king power, fam. I don't know why. I genuinely. What more can we say? What more can I add to what Dubois? What more can we say? Cause it's ridiculous. Jesus Christ. Honestly, that sounds like a manager that's done, fam. Can't lie. Sounds like a manager that's done out.
Yeah, completely agree. I think Dami said his piece, and yeah, big up to Dami, man, as well. He's been grinding. So guys, make sure you go out and check his channel. He does YouTube and stuff like that. So match reviews and all that sort of thing, and different videos. So Dami, thanks so much for coming on today. I hope that things get better. I hope that can be having another positive podcast in the future. But yeah, anyway, thanks for coming on, Dami. Is there anything you'd like to end on from your part?
Bro, I just want Chelsea to be good, fam. I just want Chelsea to be good. You know what I mean? I just want us to be good. I don't know what more to say. Plug in my stuff right now. Yeah, I mean, sure you guys can go follow me, but right now, I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but I don't know what more to say. Do you know what I mean? I am genuinely lost for words. Genuinely lost for words. But once again, big up to two of you. You guys are doing a fantastic job on here. Do you know what I'm saying? Listen to the content, like the content. Big up to you guys. But man, I'm sorry for the lack of energy because I just don't know what to say.
No, we completely agree. To be honest, I think it's just we're both done. Like we're both just sick of it, guys. Yeah, ending it on a sour note, I guess. But yeah, hopefully things get better. And if there's any news on the manager, then if you can't see it on Twitter or anything, then we'll be sure to post it in the comments of this video and pin it to the top. So yeah, Dubois, is anything you want to end it on off, or are you sort of sad and just done like me as well?
Yeah, I think every Chelsea fan is just in a state of complete shock and disappointment at the moment. I mean, it's hard to put into words, especially how quick this has all escalated. And I mean, with everything that's happened, I mean, it seems like it was literally only a month ago where we were happy with the unbeaten run, and now it's all just come falling down. And I guess it's hard to digest and like so soon after the result, but I guess whatever's best for the club will happen, and at the end of the day, we'll be supporting Chelsea, and no player or manager is bigger than the club.
Exactly, that's a perfect way to end it off. You know, I saw a tweet earlier which said like the only process you have to trust is Romans 1, and that's completely true. I think we'll end it on that because you know at the end of the day, he's the one who makes the decisions, and ever since he's come in, you know, he's not got a lot wrong. We've won a lot of trophies, so. Guys, here's to a positive future if Lampard does go. And yeah, we will see you in the next podcast episode, which will hopefully be a bit more of a positive reaction. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.